So kīrtan should be sweet. Huh? Can I see the LCD? Kīrtan should be sweet. Sometimes when we go to a temple, we see everybody's jumping up and down, smashing the kartals, and pounding on the drum. You can hardly hear the holy name. It's just all this like, what are they doing? They're all looking at each other. They're not looking at deities, or they're not looking at Krishna within. What are they doing?
Showing off.
Showing off, yeah. Kanai got it right. They're trying to impress each other. I can jump higher than you. No, I can play kartals louder than you. It's not unusual to see breaking kartals, breaking the strings, breaking the drums. Srila Prabhupada commented, after he had to go through this incredible trip with his godbrothers. His godbrothers and Narayan Maharaj got to send him mridangas and kartals for kīrtan. Took months, and there was all this like political stuff around it. Why are you preaching in America? And blah, 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 So finally they sent the drums after months and months of hassles, right? And they arrived in New York, and immediately within 2 weeks all the drums were broken. Oh, Krishna. So Prabhupada, he wrote back to India, and he said, after all of our efforts to get these drums and everything, these American boys immediately threw them down, broke them. So please ship some more.
Do they break them by throwing them, or do they break the skins by throwing too hard?
Well, no, by putting them down too hard. You see, they're just made of clay. The traditional kahol from Bengal is just made with a thin clay shell. It's reinforced by some strings and fibers and stuff like that, but still, it's not very strong, It's clay, and then it's baked in the oven, and So, yeah, it's sort of like a tandoori oven with some leather heads on the top. So it's not very strong. It's just red clay. The ones we had, this one is fiberglass, I think, right? Yeah, they had to make these special for the Western devotees out of fiberglass. They don't sound as good, but they're, at least you can't break them so easy. But kīrtan should be sweet. The holy name should be sweet. And where's the sweetness in banging and crashing and where's that what spoils it is that competitive mood. The competitive mood is completely material. It's completely false ego. That, I can do better than you. I can chant louder than you. I can jump higher than you. I can collect more money than you. I can make more disciples than you. My competitive spirit, I have, everybody has. But my competitive spirit is, I can make more intelligent disciples than you. None of you could ever preach to my disciples. They're too intelligent. So they're afraid of this nectar of devotion. That's why they don't preach on nectar of devotion. Because if their disciples come to know the nectar of devotion, then they're finished. They can't put anything over on them anymore. They become too intelligent, too well versed in the bhakti methods and philosophy. Nectar of devotion is very, very deep, very powerful. See? Now, a real guru, fully qualified guru, should be on the topmost platform of ecstatic love and should demonstrate the symptoms of that love. But if they're not, then you see, they don't want anybody to know what those symptoms are. They don't want anybody to know what the real taste of Krishna's pure devotional service is. So they keep the nectar of devotion kind of, hidden in the back. Maybe they bring it out, among a few of their close disciples. The ones that they got enough on that, anyway. We want everybody to know the complete science of Bhakti Yoga. That's why we're doing Nectar of Devotion. That's why we're doing. I remember among my godbrothers, no one was preaching from Nectar of Devotion, even though Nectar of Devotion was one of the first books to come out. One of the early books, back in 1967, came out. By 1972, it had gone into, 3 or 4 printings. But nobody ever preached from it. They preached from Bhagavad-gītā. Sometimes they would preach from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam or Caitanya-caritāmṛta a little bit. Very rarely. But never from Nectar of Devotion. Only Vishnu Jan Swami. He was the only one that preached from Nectar of Devotion. And he also exemplified Nectar of Devotion very nicely. You see? So, of course, something happened to him. So we somehow survived those years and started our own preaching mission. And our preaching mission is based on the premise that the next generation of disciples is going to have to know this science completely, from one end to the other, to continue the parampara. See, what is the use if Srila Prabhupada is a fully realized soul, and then in the next generation there are no realized souls, and then who's going to continue the parampara? How is it going to continue? See, the godbrothers are saying, no, nobody can be a realized soul. Either that or everybody can be a realized soul if they just get a committee vote, rubber stamp. But actually they're not very clear about their philosophy. They kind of avoid the question. The criterion of guru is based on no objection. It's actually how you become a guru. You apply, and then you have to wait for like 5 or 7 years or something like that. And then if nobody objects, you can become guru. So, this is not a very robust platform for being guru. What we want to make the premise, which is also there in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and all the bona fide scriptures, that one should be a self-realized soul to be guru. He should be approved by Krishna and the spiritual master. He should have those qualifications. He should know this philosophy. Not just in theory, but in practice, in fact. He should be the living example of the philosophy. Then we can say, yes, this is real guru. This is the actual criterion of guru given in scriptures. So why shouldn't we follow it? Why should we invent some other criterion? Why should we come up with some no objection policy? That's our idea. That's not Krishna's idea. That's a human idea. So that kind of association is on the platform of religion. Religion means an external spiritual association based on some material principles or invented by some human intelligence. But human intelligence, no matter how good, is always going to be less than Krishna's intelligence. And Krishna has given the criterion in Bhagavad-gītā 4:11. He says, just approach a self-realized soul, offer service and inquiries. The realized soul can give you the truth because he has seen the truth. So those who have seen the truth, then they can become guru. They can accept service. They can accept inquiries from sincere disciples and give real answers based on their personal experience. They don't have to make anything up, and they don't have to memorize anything. You know, I know a lot of devotees who are expert at memorizing. They can memorize all kinds of shlokas. They can memorize different tricky ways of dealing with people. They're very expert at this memorization. But memorization is not knowledge, not in the Vedic sense. Knowledge in the Vedic sense means direct consciousness of the things spoken of in the Shastra. Not that we simply have some words that we can throw around and impress gullible people. What kind of realization is that? That's just a mental platform. So we want everyone to understand the real science of Bhakti Yoga. That's why we don't hold anything back. We even give Vedānta-sūtra